The following program was recorded at RELA's annual logistics conference in Orlando. I'm pleased to welcome Supply Chain Brain Editor Emeritus, Gene Murphy.
Hello. Today I'm speaking with Chris Cole, CEO of Intelligrated. Our topic is looking outside the four walls in retail distribution. Welcome.
Good morning.
So tell us what you see as one of the most significant trends impacting retail distribution operations.
Well, traditionally, when retailers built distribution centers, they looked to maximize the efficiency inside the four walls. And a lot of activity and study has gone into how to make the workers most productive and how to lower the cost of distribution from inside the four walls. What we're seeing today, which is a distinct difference from the past, is looking to the distribution center to do things in a way that will lower the cost of the operation of the stores. And we're looking for new ways where the distribution center can save money on the operations side.
So what is causing this shift in thinking?
Well, I think the biggest single thing is that for many retailers, they're looking at an environment where the long-term growth rates may not be as great for opening as many stores in the U.S. and Canada, and they need to get more margin out of the stores that they have today. And it used to be if you took one person out of a distribution center, you saved a certain amount of money. But if you could take one person out of every store by making them more efficient, you can save a lot more money. And it's trying to squeeze more margin out of the existing base of customers that you have without the top line having to grow as fast.
So how are both retailers and providers responding to this?
Well, it's a situation where right now the leading retailers who are investing in the future are looking to find the right supplier to partner with to come up with new ways of thinking about things. And it's not just mechanical order fulfillment solutions or the kind of automation that's put in place. A lot of it has to do with the software that's driving it so that you can have real-time decision-making inside the box to always be doing the next best thing, and then lining the product up so that when it's delivered to the stores, it's much easier to restock the shelves more efficiently.
So can you give us some specifics in terms of what retailers can do to reduce the cost in the store?
The biggest single thing that they can do is to fulfill the product in a way that when it's unloaded from the truck, it can be delivered aisle ready down the store shelves so that there's much less movement inside the store from aisle to aisle to get the stocks reshelved.
And take us back and tell us how that comes to be. What has to be done on the back end of the supply chain to make that happen?
Well, a lot of things vary from company to company on how they manage their product, but much of it has to do with the software to make sure that the orders are arriving in reverse load for loading onto the truck so that they can come out, and in new ways of palletizing the product in many cases, which is somewhat new to retail, to make it easier for the stores.
So I assume Intelligrated has a solution that does this?
Intelligrated custom makes solutions from our family of products and software that we work together with our customer, the retailer, to come up with what will work best for their long-run success. And the solution that we do for one retailer may have pieces in it that we use elsewhere, but it's not a one-size-fit-all solution. It's a consultative, iterative process where we do a lot of upfront work and planning to make sure that when it's implemented, it's the most cost-effective solution.
Could you give us a walkthrough of how an implementation would work once it's in place?
Well, there's a whole bunch of different ones, and of course we don't like to disclose the confidentiality of some of our customers. But a typical situation is where we are doing things to buffer the product in while it's being processed so that it can be released to the flow to the store in reverse order of loading on the truck. This requires a much more sophisticated software system controlling the mechanized solution in the warehouse. A lot of what has to happen is the stores have to buy into the idea of how to make their operations more efficient and work closely with the distribution centers and the distribution center management to streamline the total process. So there's a lot of iterative listening between the supplier, in our case, the distribution center customer, and the store customer that's the ultimate customer for our product.
So is this easier if you have if you're building a new warehouse? I assume it's easier than to try and retrofit a warehouse?
We do both. As a matter of fact, some of what we do, a lot of what we do is add on systems to existing facilities, sometimes adding additional space on where we can add new features that will streamline a process. It's of course always easy when you have the ability to build a whole new system the way you want it. But just because you're not building a new distribution center does not mean there aren't powerful solutions that can greatly accelerate the ability to move flow through the business, through the distribution center.
Other than providing, I guess, are these floor-ready pallets essentially? Is that?
It doesn't have to be pallets. It can be all different kinds of things, but it can be zone-ready, aisle-ready. It can come in many different flavors.
So are there any other aspects of these solutions that help reduce cost in other ways, or is that the primary one?
That's the primary way that it reduces it. The key difference is that really for the first time we're seeing distribution centers maybe putting more cost in the distribution center to save dramatic cost over the total supply chain, rather than just focusing on what we can do to make my piece of it more efficient. We're looking at their customer and how do we make their customer more efficient.
And are the suppliers, well, I guess they have the benefit of cost savings as well as the retailer having benefit of cost savings, but they're making an investment, right?
The suppliers don't always have to make an investment, other than that you definitely need the product scannable, but generally speaking, the retailers are trying to get that into their system today.
Are there any other trends among retailers that you've noticed?
Well, there's a number of trends in retailers. The biggest single one, of course, besides looking outside the box, is making what's inside the box more efficient. And frankly, there's a lot of old systems that are out there, and today's software and control systems can give dramatic improvements to the people's results with relatively modest incremental spending. And a lot of things are going on in order fulfillment, particularly pick-to-light, that allow more productivity. And this is especially the case where you're not locked into a fixed amount of automation, but where you can add more manpower to hit surge capacity for peak demands and seasonal demands, and have much lower cost of operating when you're not at your peak systems.
All right. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you.
We've been speaking with Chris Cole of Intelligrated. Thank you for watching.